It's Thanksgiving! Ew, turkey juices just went flying. Okay, don't do that. Okay, sorry about that. Just got a little bit excited. Here's our turkey, and today we are going to show you how to stuff and roast a turkey. Now, lots of people are worried about stuffing a bird because they're worried about issues of food safety. However, if you use your handy dandy little thermometer, you've got nothing to worry about. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Clean. Okay. Fit. Okay, so lots of people think you have to rinse this thing out, but you don't actually. However, you do want to make sure, especially if you're stuffing it, that it's not wet inside, and probably when you've been defrosting it, there is some liquid. So just take some paper towel and get in there and soak up all the juice and blood that you can, because that's where your stuffing is going. And we're going to put leftover stuffing in the neck cavity as well, because we want lots of stuffing. I will not be putting the turkey on my head. You know, Mr. Bean?
What's that? She's started there.
Okay, so this is how we're gonna make the stuffing, and we have a really big bird. It's over 20 pounds, and we want a lot of stuffing to go with it. So this is 3 loaves, or almost 3 loaves of white bread. It was pretty fresh when we bought it a couple days ago. Yesterday, I cubed it up and basically let it sit out so that it could dry out. So if I'm feeling it, there are parts that are quite dry, there are parts that are still a little bit moist. That's okay, because it'll give the stuffing a little bit of texture. Also, we're gonna add some onion, which we're gonna grate up really finely so that the onion flavor is evenly distributed throughout. We're gonna melt a pound of butter and put it in. I don't know if I'm gonna use the whole thing, but I'm gonna have it handy. The rest I'll use to baste the bird. Poultry seasoning, some summer savory, and then lots of freshly cracked black pepper and salt. I'm crying. Those onions are potent. Okay, the way to know if it's seasoned enough is by tasting it, because I don't use any measurements. It definitely has a lot of onion, but it'll mellow out as it's cooking. It does need more poultry seasoning, but I need to wash my hands first, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna add more poultry seasoning. Remember, this isn't just flavoring the stuffing, it's also flavoring the bird from inside. I'm mixing it up, and you wanna make sure that when you squeeze it together, there's enough butter so that it sticks. So if it's dry or if it's falling apart, add a bit more butter. This is looking pretty good. Probably gonna add a bit more pepper. Okay, time to stuff this bird. Now this is where food safety is important. I'm gonna be touching raw poultry, which carries salmonella and Campylobacter and other things like that. So, well, potentially. So we gotta be careful. So while I've been sampling the stuffing to make sure the seasonings are good, once I start stuffing this bird, I can't keep sampling this stuffing. All right, so we are just gonna grab it by chunks, put it into a little ball, and then we're gonna stick it in the cavity. The opening is not that big, so just stick it in there and keep going until it's all done. Okay, so normally if I have extra stuffing, I would stuff this neck cavity area, but I think actually I'll be able to get it all into the body cavity. Just gonna keep stuffing that in. And then all we need to do now is season the outside. We're gonna use some of our leftover butter from the stuffing, some salt and pepper, some poultry seasoning, and then we're gonna get it in the oven, but we're actually gonna cover it up with the lid for the first part of the cooking process, and that will help keep the moisture in, keep the turkey nice and moist, and then we'll just take the lid off for the last hour and let it brown up a bit. The internet said a stuffed turkey that's between 20 and 22 pounds, which this one is, will take about at least 6 hours and 40 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In my experience, it usually takes a bit less, but we're gonna make sure that it reaches a good food safe temperature of 74 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit in several different places, including in the middle of the stuffing. Safety first. Okay, this is thickened up nicely and it's still hot. I'm gonna just take it off the heat, let it set up. Perfecto. Ready for the oven. It doesn't fit on. It's too big. There. so the turkey has been in for just over 4 hours at 350. I checked the meat in a number of places and it was up to temperature, but when I inserted the thermometer into the stuffing, it was still pretty cool, only at 66. So we're gonna let it cook for a bit more. The lid popped off as it was baking, so it didn't have a seal on it that whole time. So that's why I've left it on. It's already browned up. Yummy. Okay, I'm gonna empty out the stuffing, get it ready to carve.
One take Tara.